All right, so for today, and it will actually carry over into tomorrow or Wednesday based on whether you're a red or white day kid, we are getting started on our first PLTW app. If you couldn't get into PLTW by watching this video, you could have just downloaded the app here. But once that happens, once you have it downloaded, no matter whether you got it from PLTW or from Canvas, you're going to log into your App Inventor, choose your name, and then your iPads, or laptop for that matter, can't understand what an AI file is, so you have to upload it from your computer. So you would go to Projects, Import Project AIA from my computer, choose Files, and it should have been in your downloads. So here's mine. It's from my downloads folder. I would click on that, click Open, and it would preload into App Inventor for me, and it looks like this. Yours is probably named Germ Guide 1.3. Mine I named to Dream Germ Guide since I'm working on this first thing in the morning. It preloads with this intro screen that comes in with your water button, crowding button, vectors button. You can see that the water and crowding are in a horizontal arrangement, but the vectors button is not, so that it shows up centered on the screen. And you can see you have a lot of media already built in here. Other things that this app already comes with are other screens. We're going to walk through the crowding screen together, and then it will be your job to design the vector and water screens on next class. So if I go to the crowding screen, let me delete some stuff that shouldn't be here yet. This is what it should look like when you first get into the app. It just has a back button. It doesn't have anything else. Now, when we look at this in PLTW, we are in 1.3, so we can come down to Lesson 1. We're looking at 1.3, the Germ Guide app. And it's going to have a screenshot, or like a hand drawing, of what we want each of these screens to look like. So we have the home screen. It tells us the waterborne diseases should go to the water screen, crowding should go to the crowding screen, vector should go to the vector screen. We're going to design the measles, meningitis, crowding screen first. So it should have a back button, which it came with, that when you press it, it goes to the home screen. We have the diseases associated with crowding, 2 buttons, measles and meningitis, and both of them should play the audio that goes with that file. So first thing I need to do is design this. I need diseases associated with crowding as a label that is centered on the screen, and then I need 2 buttons. So back in App Inventor, I'm going to come over to my user interface, pull out a label. I'm going to rename that to title, and then I'm also going to change the text for label 1 to diseases for crowding. I'm going to spell it correctly, and I'm also going to center my text. So for my title, diseases for crowding. Now you can't see it in here right now because I don't have a background color and my text is defaulted to black. I'm just going to change mine to yellow to make it show up. I also want it to be way bigger, so I'm going to bump my font size up to about a 30. And I just realized I named it wrong. It's not diseases for crowding, it's diseases associated with crowding. When I name it right, you can see that it actually goes off the screen. Why it does that is because we left our height and our width at automatic. I'm going to change my height to 20%. I'm going to change my width to 95%. Now when I do that, it bumps it to 2 lines, which you can see looks just like the one in here. Now I need 2 buttons. So I'm going to grab from my user interface button 1, pull over button 2. I don't have to put those in arrangements because I want them to stack, which is why we did that for your bell ringer today. Under button 1, I'm going to rename that to measles. I'm going to rename button meningitis. It still says text for button 1, so I need to change that to measles again. And I'm going to change this to meningitis. Now your buttons are probably, right now, over on the left here. To fix that, click on crowding screen up at the top and change align horizontal to center, and it shoves them into the middle. I don't like how they look right now, so I'm going to change the background color to, let's say, a light gray. I'm going to change the font size to a 25. I'm going to change the shape to rounded. I'm going to change my, actually I'm going to leave my text color black. I'm okay with that. Same thing with meningitis. I'm going to make that one light gray. My shape's going to be rounded. It's centered. And I'm okay with the black. Make that one about a 25. Now, if I look back at my PLTW book, it says that when pressed, it plays audio of either measles or meningitis. So what I have to do is actually add a player to this screen for each of the things I want to have sound. Over in the palette, new drawer over here is media. It's right underneath layout. Under media, you're going to pull out player, and it comes in as player 1. It's invisible, so it doesn't matter where you drop it. And I actually need 2 of those. I need one for measles and one for meningitis. Over here, I'm going to rename it. I am a lazy typer, so this one's me play. And then I need to change the source. So what this does is say that when I have a measles player, that the source should play measles MP3. This one's going to be called menplay. And that one's going to have the meningitis MP3 for the source. It is extremely important to rename these because you're going to have 6 audio files, and if you don't name them, when you go to code them later, it's going to be a nightmare for you. Now that I have my screen designed, we're going to write our first lines of code. So I'm going to come up here in the corner by my name. It says we're on designer right now. We're going to blocks. Under blocks, we can see that we already have 2 pieces of code written. It says that when crowding screen back pressed, so this is like pressing the back arrow button, it opens screen 1. Or if I click that back button that's on my home screen, it's going to open screen 1, which takes us back to that original diseases that you can choose crowding, vector, or waterborne. We're going to code this so that if I come over here to my blocks, I should have a block that has a button called measles. If I pull out when measles click, it's the very first one under measles. What I want to happen, looking back at PLTW, is when measles is clicked, it plays the audio of the measles description. So when measles clicked, I need to go to my measles player and look for the purple one that says call the measles player to start. That's going to go right in here. If you have a device to test on, so a tablet if you're in the room, or you downloaded the companion app on your own phone with your parents' permission, when you deploy this, which remember we do by going connect, AI companion, and scanning that with our companion app, if you connect it, it should be that when you press that measles button, that your measles audio will start playing. We're also going to do this for our meningitis button. So I click on meningitis, find when meningitis click, go down to my meningitis player, call my meningitis to start. So your job today is to get this done for each of your measles and your meningitis buttons. If you have questions, let us know.